Welcome to the Champagne Ministry. I'm gonna give it a minute and let everyone log back in. So, hi Sophie, thank you for coming back. Hi Miss Dancy. I'm gonna give it a minute and let everyone rejoin. It looks like we had a technical issue, if you will, with the choir. A message popped up and the message said, it looks like you have played music that's owned by someone else and it ended my video. I find that very rude and disrespectful to the ministry of Champagne. So we're going to begin again, this time without the processional, because the spirits of the record industry are hating upon the ministry. Do we feel that? Yes. So let's just begin again. I would like to welcome you, so rude, to the Champagne Ministry, where we get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. Spiritual conversations over libations. I'm Reverend Rose, and bitch, it's time that we talk behind the scenes over Bellinis today. We're gonna skip the champagne processional this time because that was disrespectful and rude. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, foes, and hoes of the Champagne delegation, welcome. We are so glad to have you tonight. Now, tonight we are talking behind the scenes and drinking Bellini. So if you have not poured your Bellini, darling, please do so now. Thank you very much. So you may not be familiar with how it works here at Champagne Ministry, but essentially we do three very important things. Number one, we get lit. Number two, we talk shit. And lastly, we feel the spirit. Get lit is where we talk about the good. Talk shit means we got to talk about the bad. And feel the spirit, that's where we get to the truth of the matter. Because here at Champagne Ministry, we believe very staunchly that everything that happens in life, every event that happens, every situation, every person you meet is spiritual in nature, meaning everything relates to you, to the invisible spirit inside you that animates you and gives you life and connects you to every single thing around you. So let's get into it. Now today we are talking behind the scenes over Bellinis. So we are going to talk to some fabulous, powerful women who work behind the scenes in Hollywood and produce and create some of your favorite shows that you watch every night, honey child. Yes, they do. I'm going to get ready to introduce you to the very first one. But first, let me tell you a little bit about her. Now, Wikipedia, and yes, she has a Wikipedia. They refer to Tracy Baker Simmons as an American producer best known as one of the pioneers of urban, they gotta use that word, reality television. She is a veteran in Hollywood for 17 years as a producer. She's the president and owner of her own production company called Baker Simmons Media. And from 1992 onward, she has produced hundreds of music videos, TV commercials, and TV shows, and she's worked with artists such as Brandy and Mature, Montel Jordan, Arrested Development, Chrisette Michele, Keith Sweat, Jazzy Faye, Nas, Ludacris, Keith Ford, and I love me some Julie Dash as well. Her award-winning television commercials range from Coca-Cola to Sprite to McDonald's, honey. She has had clients such as Pearson TV, ABC, CBS Networks, but most notably, she is the creator and the executive producer of Being Bobby Brown, the classic, okay? It aired on Bravo in 2005, and I know we all remember that show. She also produced Lifetime's The Houstons on Our Own, T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle, and a very recent special on OWN that was amazing called They Call Me Dad. So with all of that said, I would like to go ahead and welcome our very first guest, Tracy Baker. And then I'm gonna sip on my Bellini. Do we have our glasses? I hope we're taking sips and dips.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi, you got the Bellini. Yes. Cheers, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Of course, I am so excited. When you said yes, I jumped out of my chair. I said, I got Tracy, I'm popping. If I got Tracy, I'm popping. Okay.
Oh, that's sweet, sweet, sweet. Thank you for having me.
Well, of course. Now, can you just did something to your phone and you are sideways.
Okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
it made it look like you got real sideways off that balloon. That's the right way
There,
right there.
I was like,
Beautiful.
I didn't look crazy.
So, we are just going to jump into it. As you know, we get lit, we talk shit, we feel the spirit. I have given a brief introduction on just some of your many, many accomplishments. But what
I heard it.
what'd you say?
I said I heard
You
you.
heard it. So I would like to start by asking you, we need to get lit. What is one kind of positive thing or something that gets you lit about Hollywood, about like being behind the scenes in the role that you've played?
What gets me lit? Honestly, I get excited about telling Black stories, to be very honest. It's interesting because a lot of times we're sort of, I mean, look, we are Americans per se. So a lot of times we want to, I remember at a time in my career when I was like, I just want to be looked at as a producer and I want the ability to tell any story or work on any type of show. But honestly, over the years, and my kid is 27, so I've been doing this a while, and I started to realize, like, no, I want to tell our stories. And that gets me lit because I understand our stories. I understand our jokes. I understand the information. I understand what's offensive and what's not offensive. And I want to own that space. And I'm comfortable with that. So now I am comfortable when I'm talking to executives about, big deal structures or overall deals or whatever, and they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to be that person who's owning the ability to tell Black stories properly, whether it's social justice or comedy or whatever. It's just like owning that space and understanding that it is important to have our voices in that space, and not being afraid or feeling less than because that's what you want to do.
And people are saying preach and they're talking about representation in the comments, and they couldn't agree more with what you're saying. And telling Black stories and representing Black experience is most important, really, right now with all that's going on. So this really is the moment for us all to really embrace that. Now we're talking about, kind of your evolution and how you reach the point where you're like, you know what, I want to own these Black stories, and this is what I want to do. But I want to take us back a little bit because you created Being Bobby Brown, one of the most iconic. The little face, tell it. Like one of the most iconic shows in reality TV history, groundbreaking. Okay,
Well, thank
so
you.
yeah, you are welcome. How did you come up with this concept, and how did you make it happen? Like, who
Yeah.
does that?
Mm.
You
Uh,
do.
Crazy person. No, actually, look, I lived in Atlanta and they were on the news a lot. Look, because a lot of people don't know this, but my degree is in finance and marketing. Like, I didn't even grow up. I grew up in a very religious household, so I didn't even watch a lot of television outside of like Fat Albert and then the Cosbys when that came on. So my parents were not into all that. So I wasn't some kid who was like, oh my God, I want to make movies when I grow up. I really want to make money when I grow up. And I wanted to do well and, have a nice life and do good for my mama, like all Black kids, right? So honestly, looking at them on the news, my marketing and finance pieces and to say they're giving their story away to the news. They're not offended. They're actually like the camera. So perhaps they should be on television doing a reality show like the Osbournes, which was the only other family on television at the time. And so my partner and I were just like, let's go for it. 6 degrees of separation. Didn't know either one of them. And I had raised money for the company at the time, had raised $500,000 from an investor, from an athlete, and he was going to give it to me over a year time to develop projects. And I just said, look, we're going to need all the money now, and we're going to go for this thing. And he was like, that's brave, and you might be crazy. I hope you don't lose my damn money. Because there were no rules, right? And we didn't even know. I'd never done a show like that. I've never done a reality show, and I'd only worked on one scripted show. And so I just like watched the Osbournes and was like, oh, I think this is what they're doing. I'm gonna get some of my friends who do documentaries to direct, and then the rest was history. And,
Go ahead.
and we licensed the show to Bravo, so we still own that show today, and that's important to say because a lot of times that gets confusing with people. But we do, and in honor of Whitney, if it was to be re-released, it would have to be in a respectful way in which we felt she would be comfortable. But yeah.
You know what? You took me to my next question, which was the power move that you made in basically selling, I guess, the rights or selling part of it in some the licensing to Bravo. So Bravo is able to air it, but you retain the ownership. And I think that is so powerful, because when you are doing something new, when maybe you don't have the biggest name yet, you're working on building your legacy. I feel like new artists and just people in any industry, a lot of times will give up too much.
Yeah.
But they're excited to simply have the opportunity. How did you have the foresight? I mean, I'm sure Bravo wanted all of it. How did you make a powerful move like that?
Other networks wanted all of it too. You know what? That goes back to your team. I was blessed to when I worked. Look, I did the music videos, the commercials. I worked for Organized Noise, and they had a great attorney. When I was working for Rico, they had this attorney named Jeff Smith, who I basically latched on to as a mentor. And so when I got into doing this project and doing this deal, we hired him. And he is very much about that. Like, one thing he said to me was like, look, these companies make millions of dollars off of pennies. It's all in the detail. The deal. So he basically was just like, you're vested now. My investor, we had gotten our investor, my partner and I, he was in at $1 million. So we were owners already, and what we owned wasn't for sale. It was for rent, but not for sale. And that's
what we owned was not for sale. Oh God, that is power. Carter Challenge said, excitement does not secure you long time. That's true. That's like a momentary thing. Well, I just want to just point out the brilliance. And you saw that Bobby and Whitney, their story was being told on entertainment news and being publicized. And you could see that they kind of liked the spotlight. However, with your finance background, you kind of realize, well, why don't they make a profit from their own experience, right? That is so amazing. So now that we have gotten lit, we are getting lit just off your story. Is so inspiring. It's time to talk about a little bit of shit, okay? And I know you're proficient at that, okay? So I want to know, name a negative thing about working in this industry or your experience for us.
There's a few, but we'll keep it simple tonight. The one thing, sometimes you're hired because you're Black, right? But it's because they need a Black face. And it's not always that they want to hear that voice, where you're like, that's not cool, or that's not right, or that could be offensive. So that, I think sometimes, especially like if you're not in control, you're not the executive producer, not your show. You're in this space with these people, and this is their shit basically, and they have the final word, right? And then also, look, I'll be very honest, and I say this a lot in a lot of interviews too, like, I don't have 200 shows under my belt as innovative and amazing as it was to bring a piece of talent. I mean, Whitney Houston's one of the biggest stars in the business ever, still today, you know. And I don't have 200,000 shows on my belt because I thought highly, my partner and I, of ourselves, to say we want to do a license deal that's not comfortable with people for people. So it wasn't like, oh great, you've given us this or you helped us build this, so we're gonna do something wonderful for you. It was more like, you're a little difficult, you like to protect your talent, but it's like, no, I just actually have self-worth.
Hello? It's called self-worth. It's called, you have to protect yourself. You have to, it's so interesting. You said a lot of times they want a black face to check off that box and fill that requirement, but they don't want the voice and the identity and the self-worth and the values that come with that,
Right.
which I think is so interesting. So my next question was, what is it like being a black woman in a male dominated industry? How do you
Male white dominated industry.
male
Like,
white dominated?
it's
How?
not it's not just male, it's males. Look, and the black men are behind the white men, so it's not even, so it's like, but I would imagine, like, this is America, right?
Yeah,
That's the story is the damn same. I don't care what business you're in. If you're in pharmaceuticals, fashion, whatever, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about systemic racism,
yeah,
right? We're behind in all of that shit because of how they built the foundation of the bullshit of the situation. So
yes,
what is it like I'm sure what I'm going through is the same shit my other friends or people in other industries are going through as well. It's difficult because of the space, because the eyes of the creators or the people who hold the power or who have been able to elevate themselves and be the decision makers in it, is they don't want to yield the power. I had a very interesting conversation recently with a guy whose company I worked for.
mhm,
And he was very like open, and he realized that, oh, he was like, at one point I didn't realize that, like, people get confused. Supporting you and allowing you to have your own and build your legacy doesn't take anything away from me having mine. And he was like, but now I see that and I want to mentor and support you. So hopefully the more moments that people on the other side of this see that, because I'm like, think about it. I want to leave something for my kid just like you want to leave something for yours. And why is that a problem? So it's difficult in the sense it's difficult from the struggles of a country that was built off the backs of our ancestors and individuals who just can't see past the facts and the ability and just the understanding that they need to become our allies. They need to accept and understand that there was a system put in place that placed them above,
yeah.
in spite of or what have you, whether they're better or not, or smarter or what have you. And that, we need to change the dynamics of that if we want to have a more cohesive space for all people to live.
That's right. And I love the way that you related. I mean, you're this high power producer in the entertainment industry, insider behind the scenes. But I love how you took your experience being a black woman in a white male dominated industry and said, look, it's no different than
Mm-hmm.
if you work at the bank. Or, I mean, it's the same, it's a similar experience that we all face in a white male supremacist culture. It's that
Yeah.
structural white supremacy that affects every single one of us. So I love how you brought that full circle and it helps us, understand that, wow, my experience, I can see mirrored in yours. Now, while we're talking shit, you know, you are really a pioneer in reality TV, but reality TV, I love it. It gets a bad rap in this culture. What do you feel about the role that reality TV plays?
I think that we have to get past, like it's kind of interesting, and I say this when I speak to students at universities. Um, Look, there's Roseanne, there's what's that, Mama June, and
Uh-huh.
whatever their name is, the little
Mm-hmm.
girl.
Mama June.
You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now they on TV, and we do not have white people on there talking about y'all are bringing down the white race. No one's saying that. We need to stop owning every damn thing people do as the whole race is going to look that way. That's systemic racism too. That's some shit they don't put on us. What y'all doing on them damn shows is not reflective of me unless it's reflective of me.
Woo!
Right?
Yes. Okay, so Nikki says that Honey Boo Boo, that's her name,
Yeah.
and Carter says every content outlook is different. So that's right. So I agree completely with what you're saying. As Black people, our identity has been defined in the eyes of a white supremacist culture. So
Yeah.
we kind of suffer from wanting to only represent the most perfect image of ourselves because we're trying to combat what they told us we are. But in that, you're denying some reality. We
Yeah.
are all different kinds of experiences that we have as a people. And
Yeah.
yes, some of that looks like love and hip hop, and some of that looks like the Cosbys, and some of that. I mean, we do. We have
Yeah.
all kinds of experiences, and they don't necessarily need to be deemed as bad. And my second part is reality show or entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you watch something, you are placing a vote. Just like if I'm in the grocery store and I buy almond milk instead of
Right.
regular milk, right? I am placing my vote. They're gonna look at the numbers at the end of the month and they're gonna order more almond milk because that's what we want. So if you
Right.
really have a problem with this, guess what? Stop watching it. Guess what?
Yeah.
Tune in to specials like you just did on OWN, like They Call Me Dad, about the pride and the beauty and the experience of Black fatherhood. If we blow those up, that is what we will see. Reality and entertainment and everything that happens in our world is a reflection of our choices.
But it's also this too. Watch both. I don't care. Because guess what? Them Beverly Hills housewives and those New Jersey housewives and them damn other ones that they got, especially them New Jersey, they are more ratchet than any of them damn Atlantis are. And guess what? But they still get to have the Chrisleys. They still got to have the damn Zodiac and her damn family with 200,000 people watching. Ain't nobody watching, but
I
they
don't watch that.
still on. Ain't nobody watching it, but they still on. And them Kardashians, wasn't nobody watching them lately in the past few years either, cause Scott ain't drunk or high no more. So it really is about those of us and those of us who are gaining power and influence in the industry to actually be able to say, no, 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 no. You're gonna put some Chrisley like Black folks on TV with these loving hip hops or whatever else that y'all deem crazy with that, just like you do with them. Because Jersey Shore, they're not angels. I'm sorry, they not. And the Polo Teen Girls, they are. They're Janelle. Yeah, I can call it out because I watch all television on that shit too. Jersey Shore, think about them, girl. They can't go nowhere. They got kicked out of countries. They got kicked out of the whole damn country. Italy said, "Don't ever come back here." But
How you gonna be Italian in the whole country? Your native land won't let you come back.
no, you can't even go. None of us could go right now, but their asses couldn't go before we couldn't go before. And no one is saying, "Oh my God, they taking down the white race." No, the white race ain't giving a shit about them. The white race is like, how much do they pay?
That's right. They have not experienced the pain of being misrepresented and mistreated. And we have. And so we are striving for this image of perfection. But if we would simply accept ourselves for who we are in the range of beauty and experience, from good to bad to ugly, that we bring, there is power in that. So I, just like you said, watch the ratchet and watch the real and watch the amazing.
Yeah.
It's all part of the human experience.
Exactly. It's all part of the human experience. And we deserve to have a variety of shit on TV like everyone else.
Yes.
Point blank simple.
Right.
Don't tell me that we wouldn't watch a show like They Call Me Dad or Black Love. Look how great that show has done for OWN. Like, yeah, we watched Oprah for Oprah was on for 25 damn years, speaking positively in people's.
Right.
So there is that space. We just have to go in and fight for that space as much, and not allow them to just say, "Oh, but the numbers." No, the numbers don't say shit, because guess what? Y'all got some shit on there and it ain't got no numbers. They're still on there, and you right. So that's the real fight. The real fight is not really about, oh, because they're showing us. There's some people who doing that. Oh, why I'm looking at Instagram, honey. They on there, they fighting, they throwing shit at each other and everything. They ain't on nobody's television.
Right.
They on free. They doing it for free. So some people not go ahead and get paid for doing that.
Right.
That's
and
what.
Nikki says, I'm sorry. I did. There was a little audio issue. I didn't know you were still talking. Nikki says, I'm a little bougie and a little ratchet, and I need my TV to represent all sides of me. Okay? And OG said, yes, you are. No, it's true. It's true. Like, we are everything, and we should be represented in our beauty and our ugly and everything in between, because it's human, it's life. Now, as we close out, I want you to share with us a deeper lesson or a spiritual lesson that you have either learned about yourself or life or entertainment. What can you leave us with?
And it's kind of piggybacks on what we just talked about. Interestingly enough, when we did They Call Me Dad, I had the fortune of doing the interviews for the females on the show. Alone, like I just did their interviews, because OG, he just trusts me with everything. But and it was interesting because I was like, oh my God, like these girls are so amazing. Like Megan Good was like just illuminating, like just this kindness, and I love Layla. I mean, they were so sweet, and just like they were just so, it was just so, like, their interviews blessed me as a person. And I was like, wow, like, I never thought about that, like how this interview, being able to interview these people is affecting me, but in a good way. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, shit, then when I'm around nasty, evil, it's affecting me too.
Wow.
Wow. So like, oh, that makes a big difference in what jobs I'll take. Even more so. Because I want to be blessed on my job. I do not want negative energy fucking on my aura.
That's right.
And that resonated with me. I mean, that was powerful. And the other second thing, I know we have to go, that's powerful was like, back to being Bobby Brown. When my partner and I sought out to do that show, our vision was like, who the hell is Bobby Brown? Why did Whitney Houston marry him? Why would his mama love him? Why his brother care about him? Like, who is he? And when we shot at Verite, which means we just was following the action. But when we got to that editing, we started to cut the show and it started to air, and people were like, you saw Bobby in a different way. It also taught me that the vision and the journey of the creator is what resonates on the screen. And it wasn't that I didn't care about Whitney, but the journey and the vision was seeking to understand Bobby. And that resonated on the screen. So it reverses back. So that goes back to why we need to be telling our stories. Because if you don't know us and your vision and your ideal of us as a people, or the story of us as people, you don't understand that. That's what resonates on the screen. So when we're owning it, it resonates different because we have a compassion and an empathy and an understanding. So I just, just carry that deeply within me, and in the spirit of wanting to be a person who continues to tell stories, just knowing that how I see it and what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about it is going to resonate on the screen. I take on a heavier, like just a responsibility in that.
Yeah.
So it's just about that. It's about like allowing your work to bless you, and now people around you, like you be good and you're a blessing to them and they're a blessing to you. But then also just knowing like you're as a creator, everything about you impacts the story. And that's really, really important.
That is beautiful. As a creator, you impact the story, but also the story and the characters impact you. It's
Yep.
a cyclical, it's a symbiotic, relationship. Things don't go one way. And isn't
Yep.
that the truth with how life operates, right? We are
Exactly.
givers and receivers
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yep.
Look, Tracy, we are blessed to have you in our midst, to learn from you. We look up to you, love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right. See you soon.
Appreciate you, sis.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You all, that was Tracy Baker Simmons. You can see why she is the change maker that she is. And with that said, that beautiful, beautiful blessing of a woman, we gonna go to our next one. Where else do you get this content? Okay. So Tiffany Mills, all right. She is a storyteller whose passion for captivating unscripted narratives has led for a dynamic 20-year career with credits ranging from Netflix's Rhythm and Flow with Cardi B, T.I., and Chance the Rapper, honey, to USA's Chrisley Knows Best, to the show called Signed with Rick Ross, BX Fight Club for Vice, to Rome for Love on Bravo, Married to Medicine, Atlanta Total Divas, and I could go on, but I don't have time. T. Mills has played a role behind the lens of some of the most groundbreaking series in television, and I am so excited for her to join us right about now. And let's all have a sip. Let's take a collective sip while she comes on the screen. Hi, Kristen. Ian, I see him already getting lit. You all know when Brother Joey starts getting lit, we know it, okay? Now, Tiffany, I just sent you a request, so it should be popping up on your screen. Nikki said credits is heavy tonight, boy. Okay. Kristen, I said, hi, friend. Control Shift Balance, hey, Tiff, and the credits. Yes, welcome, welcome. So glad that you are here. Tiffany, you should get a request coming through. In the meantime, I'm going to read through some of these comments. Carter Challenge says, Morgan, Auntie did work with Sprite Step Off, too. That was legendary. Well, thank you for letting me know about that. If you have not seen They Call Me Dad on OWN, the premiere night aired already, but there will be repeats. What?
Hey, girl, hey!
Come on, Celery Green.
Wait a minute. This is my first time going live, so hold on, let me back up. Can you see me?
I can see you, boo.
Okay, hey, y'all.
You look that. Come on. I love this green. It's giving me celery. You're giving me a shredded neckline.
Little bits of summer,
Let's hold on to it.
Listen.
Cheers.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
So this is some sort of Portugal wine with some frozen fruit inside. Shout out to Sister Sangria. I thought about her when I made my drink. And I had a little shot of tequila first too, because I just had to do it.
Bit.
Yeah, I'm coming on. This is with Reverend Rose, so I had to make sure I'm right. I got my comb, because I know you be having your...
That haircut is phenomenal. And I'm so excited that you got your comb and your drink. You are ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank you for joining us. I was saying right before you came on, if you haven't seen They Call Me Dad, it's an own special. It's about the power of and experience of Black fatherhood. Directed and produced by OG Singletary Hayba,
Yeah.
and also Tracy, our last guest,
Yes.
on that as well. So when it comes to representation, we have to support the things that
That's right.
us. All right.
That's right. Shout out to your boo with the new show. Hey.
Okay. So let's get into you. I want to start by getting lit. Sometimes the time gets a little bit over. I had to restart the thing a bunch of times because of some technical issues. So let's try to I want to get through these questions. So just hit us with this. So what is kind of just getting lit, one positive thing that you can say about either your role or the industry?
Let's see. I think now today, you're starting to see a lot more of us. So I love that. I get lit for Black people behind the scenes because I've been doing this for so long that it was just me for so long or one other person. So when I meet young Black producers or camera operators or whatever PAs that have the same sort of passion for TV production that I have, that shit gets me lit. I'm trying to hook you up. I'm trying to give you all the little bit of gems that I got because it was other people that helped me along the way, that helped me understand, set etiquette, how to be, all of that. So I like to give that back to people that are coming up as well. That really gets me lit.
You know what? And I know that's true because you are a testament of that to me. You just encourage me with comments and just kind of light me up. You be all up in the comments. You're just a source of encouragement constantly. And I called you for some advice, and it was just overflowing an abundance of support. I know that what you're saying is true because I've literally experienced it, and it means a lot to me.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I told you you're an EP, so don't let nobody tell you no different now.
Come on, honey.
Okay.
So how did you get started in the entertainment industry?
Oh, man. Okay. I can take it back to high school days. Okay. We were at Hamilton and I was ditching school, going to be in the music videos. My mom was watching. Yes, I used to ditch school and go be in the music videos. So that was probably.
Why didn't you bring me with you? We were both at school together. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in a music video.
Girl, look, as soon as that bell rang and it was cool, and then I was out of there. We going, who video shoot we going to today? Okay, we going to be at Maya. Okay, I'm playing background for Maya. but it was on those sets of those music videos that I was watching what everyone was doing. I was more interested in the casting directors and the director of the shoot and the crew than sort of being on camera. I would kind of go hide in a corner and then just collect my extras check and that free lunch at the end of the day. But being on a real set and getting to see how things work, that really intrigued me. And then from there, I went to Clark Atlanta and, I got involved in the student station there. And the student station at Clark Atlanta happened to also be Atlanta Public Access. So, I was working at kind of a real TV station and I had a music video countdown show, which to this day, I still don't know how we produced it and how I got interviews with, the Locks and Ice Cube and people like that I had no business even, because I was asking questions from a fan's perspective. My very first interview ever was with Ice Cube. And I was so hyped and I was unprepared because I was just going in there as a true West Coast, West Cia girl in the late 90s, oh no, y'all don't know what questions to ask. Let me ask, because I just need to know, first of all, when is the next West Side Connection album coming out? I'm asking him things, and he's like, how did I even get signed up with this child? What are we doing here? So that was sort of my real start in the industry, and I kind of just went hard from there.
Yes,
let's see the
what you did a lot of shows. Okay, so what show are you most proud of and why?
Okay, I mean, well, there's two. Okay. There's the one that nobody watched, and then there was the one that everybody watched.
Okay.
So the one that nobody watched was this show called Trouble Next Door. It was for OWN. It was in the early days of OWN, and it was basically about you never know what's going on inside your neighbor's house and how you could be of help. And that show took a lot out of me because I learned to bring a lot of myself to the job. I think that's when I really started bringing myself, because I found myself talking to the families and really trying to help them. But we were able to, I don't want to say save a lot of people, but change a lot of lives on that show. But nobody watched it. Early days of OWN. But behind the scenes, we killed it. You know, we enjoyed it. And then of course, Rhythm and Flow, like that is just my favorite job of all time thus far. First of all, no one is more deserving of that win than D Smoke. He was prepared. You want to talk about being prepared for your opportunity, okay? When God shows up with that opportunity and being prepared, D Smoke was prepared from day one. Wow. So I really enjoyed that show. I learned so much from all the different executives on that show. Yeah, that was just my favorite. We had a ball doing that show.
What was Carly like? She seems so cool and just like funny and sweet and like smart and all that. What is she like in real life?
She is literally all of those things. Everything that you see, she is that. And she is smart and she is opinionated. And she has an opinion worth listening to. That's why I get so excited when I see her in these different arenas, talking to Bernie Sanders or whomever. Like, I'm like, yes. She has an opinion. She knows what she's talking about. She is a millennial that's always here all day. She's on her phone, but, you know, in a way that's not, you know, we kind of like turn our noses up to millennials sometimes because they're always on their phones. But she kept me informed. Like when I would have to shoot with her directly and sort of help her with certain things, I was finding out current events from Cardi. You know, she told me about Jussie Smollett. She told me what was going on with Trump at the time. You know, she told me those things, including her opinion. So, yeah, it was a joy working on that show.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So, Married to Medicine, I love that show. Married to Medicine, Atlanta. I would just want to know real quick, like, who was like the coolest to work with, like behind the scenes? Who's like the nicest person or the
Okay, now see, that could get me in trouble because I love all of those.
Okay, who was your
okay, wait, all but a couple of them. Okay, so let's see, I love working with Dr. Simone because it was always fun.
I love her.
Dr. Heavenly is a shit talker, so that was always fun.
She's crazy.
Dr. Jackie throws the most shade that we never were able to catch on camera. So that was my favorite.
Okay, Dr. Jackie. She was always held like, you know, was held in the more high esteem, like the queen of the group, like Miss Perfect or whatever. But I saw that shady side come out on the last season when she called out somebody on her podcast. Like she was acting a little ugly that season. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, really?
Dr. Jackie is shady. Do not let that sophistication fool you. She reads those ladies and gets them together. And then she would whisper in her mic, like, y'all better not put that on TV. You know what I mean? I love Dr. Jackie.
He hits you with that elegant read. You know what I mean?
Elegant read, okay. And the same with, like, I loved Quad. Quad kept me in shenanigans. And then I love Toya, too, because she's just so honest. She just couldn't help herself. And as a producer, those are the types of things that we love when it's like people are so honest, they just can't help themselves. Yes. You know, that is Toya for sure.
Oh, my God. That is amazing. Just hear, like, I love that. So I want to talk a little bit of shit. We've been talking about all these positive things, but like, and I know talking shit is really your forte.
I mean, you know, I can talk some shit.
I know you can.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to hear about one negative thing that you can share either about your experience in entertainment.
You know, a lot of it'll come down to what you see behind the scenes. You know, I've seen a lot of people be exploited because I've done this job from intern on up. So I wasn't always like in a position where I can sort of be in charge. And I've witnessed some things that is just like, you know, I've seen families be exploited, kids get exploited, marriages, Black people, you know, and there are times when I step in especially for Black people, I say, you know, you don't have to do this, right? I used to be that younger producer, like when I wasn't necessarily the producer in charge and the field producer, and I would see how things were going, I would just kind of pull them to the side. You know, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, one of the ways that, and I know that OG can attest to this too, one of the ways that Black people often get described in reality, or that they ask, networks ask for more, can she be louder? Can they be louder? What you mean louder? Like, why we gotta be like I know what that means, you know, but you know, just like Tracy was saying, we're not, you got Honey Boo Boo, you got Duck Dynasty, the Chrisleys, which I worked on and enjoyed, and all the different housewives and The Bachelor. There's so much diversity in sort of white programming, but it's the same in non-white programming as well. It's just programming. We're not all one thing. So a lot of times I find myself, I fight for Black people a lot behind the scenes. That shit is exhausting. I'm not only fighting for those that are on camera, I'm fighting for those that are behind the camera as well. That shit is exhausting. So I believe that soon we'll get to the point where it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully. I don't know. That's just maybe me being optimistic. But yeah, it can be tough.
I can imagine, because on one side, the more drama that you get, you know, the better it is for the show. But at the same time, as a person, you don't want to exploit people. So it seems like this constant, exhaustive balance between the two of wanting to get, but also wanting to do it in a way, you know, that's fair and that protects people as well. I think that's an interesting side to it that I never thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is it like being a Black woman in a white male-dominated entertainment industry?
Okay, that looks like when you show up to your location with your crew, and let's say we're shooting at a venue or some location or whatever, and the person that owns that location, in charge of that location, will walk over to your white male PA and say, "Hey, sir, so what's the plan here? What are you guys doing today?" As I'm standing right there, and I'm like, what are we doing here today, sir? Like, you want to answer that question? You know, you get overlooked a lot. You people describe you as a bitch a lot. And I find it interesting, the difference between the description of an asshole and the description of a bitch. You know, people respect an asshole. They love a director that is tough and an asshole, especially when that director is a man. But if you are a woman, especially a Black woman, and you are tough and you are direct, you are a bitch. So I like to say, I'm not a bitch, I'm an asshole. Okay, give me my proper description. I am an asshole. I'm not a bitch.
Address me properly.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Wow, that is so interesting. I mean, I forgot the name of that show about. It's the show about like what it was like being behind the scenes. And there was a guy named Ari, and he was the agent.
Damn, that's my brother's favorite show.
But yeah, that like I remember
on HBO.
Like, he was an asshole, but he was respected because he was about his business. But then I remember there was a lady agent or whatever, and she's like this terrible, miserable, lonely bitch. You know what I mean? So I think it's so interesting how they want to, you know, put you in a category.
Entourage. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. He has all the answers. And Deacon Day and Deacon Nikki D. Deacon Day and Deacon Davis. Always. I gave them those names because they are always have the answers to everything.
Thank you, Deaconesses.
Thank you. Yeah, let's just keep it like that because we're really get it out. So reality TV gets a bad rap, right? So like, what is your opinion on the way that people talk about or judge reality TV, and what role do you think it plays or should play?
I mean, it really is a lot like what Tracy said. Let us have the diversity in our programming. And guess what? You can change the channel. You know, hip hop got a bad rap too. anything I feel that is Black is always going to get judged like much harsher. We can be silly and ratchet and just like trash TV. We need trash TV too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trash TV. We need that. But all reality isn't necessarily bad.
Exactly.
But all of the positive things people don't watch. Hello? That's
How
the
about
part
that?
that kills me.
Can't.
Don't nobody watch? I said my favorite show is this show called Trouble Next Door. Then a damn person watched that show. Nobody watches it, but it's all good. I think we just look for something to pick at and judge sometimes. Like, you know, we have other programming. If you're looking for something that feels more wholesome and things like that, you can turn to that programming. It's there. You know, if you're looking for something that's like wild and things like that, you can turn to that as well. As a person that produces it, I don't watch it as much as I produce it. And that's more so because I'm super critical. Like, you don't want to watch TV with me. I'm going to ruin it for you. I'm going to be watching it and producing it and telling you what's real and what's not. And, ooh, I bet you they have to do that a bunch of times and things like that. That's why I can't watch it. I watch mostly scripted stuff because I can still watch from a fan's perspective.
Without trying to produce it.
Without trying to produce it.
That's hilarious. So, you have a quote on your website from Steve Jobs. It says, "The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller." What story do you wish to tell with your work and your life?
I really pride myself on being honest and real, so to speak. So I want, that is my story. You know, I like to be a conduit for all things from our higher power.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I am all about letting them use me, especially in this space. And not as much for the audience watching as you would think, but for those that are on the show. Whenever any show I do and I start talking to talent, I always ask them, like, well, why are you doing this? Like, what do you want your story to be? The same way that you're asking me. And the more I show up as my honest, true self every day to work and sort of be there for them, help them through, because it's a little bit of a mind fuck having a camera in front of you 24/7, 3 feet away from you, documenting your life. You have no control over it when it goes to the edit. That's why these people are crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of the reason why they're crazy. And then they sign these contracts and they're looking at them and they're like, this is what they're saying, that my life is worth this amount of money or no amount of money. You know, that can be very tough. And I've been able to show up sometimes and be in a space with people that, you know, they feel like, well, I didn't sign up for this. Oh, I hear that on every show.
Wow.
I didn't sign up for this part. Yeah. It's sad. It's sad.
About that, because we watch and we judge. We love it, you know, but you don't think about the person on the screen. You don't think about their experience and how invasive that is. That's so interesting. I feel like I'm going to view it like through a different lens and have a little bit more compassion, you know? That has to be hard.
Like you have to show up. And I tell the producers that I work with too, show up with compassion to this job. This is people's lives. Like, you know, I would have the keys to people's homes doing certain shows and show up at the top of the day. They'd still be in the bed with their husband and I'd be down in the kitchen making some toast with their kids before their kids go to school. Like their kids, I would be the first face that their kids would see sometimes.
Wow.
If the kids are disrespecting their parent, then I'm the one that's taking the kid to the side. Like, this is how you acting today?
Wow.
You know,
so it's like
you're in people's lives. Yeah, you are in their lives. You are in their homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we realize like how close, and the hours are long and it's for many months, and you really do become integrated into that family unit. That's insane. And feel the responsibility on the side of your job to bring us, but a responsibility to them to be there, help represent them correctly. same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my last question for you, very quickly, can you sum up a spiritual lesson or experience or piece that something that you've learned from your experience?
Yes, and I actually have something I want to read. Shout out to Joy Hearts.
Joy Hearts, your
because
friend,
listen,
and
that is my girl.
One of the most amazing people on this planet.
When I show up to work or before I'm starting a new job, it is very important to me. Like I'm very clear that, okay, God, I'm going in here to do something that you got me in here. However, I need to be used for these folks. And it's always it's never for the audience as much as it is for the people on camera and those of us behind the scenes, right? Because I've been with some people through some shit, right? So the first day of every job, I read this prayer that Joy posted way back in 2015. And it says, Lord, I thank you for choosing and trusting me with the gifts and opportunities to be an extension of your light in a world that can sometimes be dark, lonely, and harsh. Not just because I love it, not just because it's fun, not just because I can make money. I do this because it's my purpose, it is my ministry. For every one of your children with whom I cross paths, I humble myself before you, asking for wisdom, guidance, and discernment. I ask that you would give me the ears to hear and the words to speak so that it's your message that will penetrate their hearts and minds. I thank you for the transformation that has begun in the lives of many through the work that you have done in me. As new visions and ideas continue to flow, I pray that I remain open and available for all that I was created to be and do in this life according to your will. Prepare me for what it is you have prepared for me. Enlarge my territory so that I might have room enough to receive your many blessings you've promised me. I say this prayer and blessing and ask it all in your mighty, matchless name. When I tell you every single show, the first day when I'm in that parking lot, before I go in to meet my team or meet the cast, that is what I do. I say it because it's like, all right, God, you're about to use me to go in here and talk to some new people. And I know I'm an asshole. So help me, use me, Lord, however you see fit, whether it's letting people enjoy themselves at work by having somebody that's cool to kind of, help them produce some TV, or the people that have signed some contracts that they don't even know what they've gotten themselves into. Or I got to deal with those crazy ass network executives that don't know a damn thing about Black culture, but are reaping the benefits from the culture. Just let me be who I need to be in this space. And that's it.
That was absolutely beautiful, right on time. Joy, thank you. Joey says, use me, spirits, for good and nothing more. The line that really got me, I'm doing this not for money, not for this, not for that, but I'm doing it because this is my ministry. You want your life and your work to be representative of your ministry. And this is the Champagne Ministry. And cheers.
Hello.
And I just am so thankful for you to be here. Joy said that's exactly why I have to center God in all things, because leave it up to me, I've done messed it all up.
You messed it up. Please don't leave it up to me.
So everyone, this is what I would like to do. We are going to close out this session. I'm going to hit post and post it. And we're going to come back with about 10 or less minutes of Feel the Spirit. Sister Sangria and I are going to wrap everything up, and we're about to serve you with the ministry so that all this wisdom that you just got is about to be wrapped up in a bow into a couple of little lessons for you to take with you. So I would say in about 2 minutes, count 2 minutes on your clock, come right back in because...
Come back for that benediction. You got to come back for the benediction, y'all.
You got to be blessed, okay?
Hello?
It's the benediction, okay? So we're going to close out, count about 2 minutes, come right back in, and we're going to wrap it up for you so that you can have your spiritual Feel the Spirit takeaway. Tiffany, Tracy Baker Simmons, we are blessed by you and thankful for you. Keep representing, keep doing your work, and keep doing your thing. We love you. Mwah.
Yes. Mwah. Thank you for having me.
All right. See everybody in 2 minutes. Come right back. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.